right, Randy Patrick here once again. Housing Level 2.0 news of the week. Yes, it's been a little longer than a week. I apologize for that. But here's the scoop. We are, I guess you could say, some of the statistics that I normally look at and we wait for are a little bit delayed now. Why? Because we're experiencing a government shutdown. So obviously some of the entities like Fannie and Freddie, FHA, whatever, there's some issues there in the Department of Commerce as well. So some of the statistics aren't available, so obviously can't comment on what you don't know or what you see or can't see, but that's the scoop right now. So hopefully that'll come in the next little while. We get back on track with some of the statistics and values and things like that. But that's really the reason why.
Did you leave?
Waiting to see what's going on here. So again, one of the things I'm going to do as well, I think, looking at your comments and notes you leave on the video, which I do appreciate.
What time are you going to be here?
I'm going to shorten the videos down. I will try to speak slower. I do realize that I get going and I ramble on pretty quick.
Is it really busy?
For that, but I'll do my best I can. And as a sort of byproduct, we'll probably do shorter videos, so I'll do more videos, and I break it down into news, statistics, investment, things like that. So I'll maybe make a few playlists and go from there. So
so you still,
so
you're not on a freeway?
More videos, but they'll be shorter and maybe more to the point. All right. So here's the scoop. So kind of what's news.
Okay. All right. I see a little bit.
2019. So obviously we had up 2008. A lot of change that went on. A lot of the analysts are commenting about what's going to happen for 2019. So really, the biggest risk that people see, the economists and analysts, are really from the Fed. Will the Fed tighten up and rein in the marketplace, or will they relax and not raise rates in 2019? So based on what happened in December with rates, which did go up, they pulled back from 3 potential raising of rates in this year back to 2. And some people are saying they're probably not going to raise rates for 2019. I guess you could say we don't really have a true indication of that. We basically said, the Fed has said that if they see a further slowdown in the economy, they may make some significant changes. But at this point in time, they're not really committing to not raising rates. So as far as I'm concerned, I would go on the assumption that it's going to be par for the course. It's going to keep going on. Expect 2 increases unless they get more information coming out that I guess drastic, and they have to sort of work around that. So at this point in time, again, a lot of analysts are suggesting they won't, but until we actually hear it and see it, it could just be lip service for the market. There you go. Now, one of the number of, I guess, one of the main issues that people are having concern about that could hurt housing further for 2019 is consumer sentiment, which I think is very interesting industry. A lot of people, a lot of economists, analysts, a little bit, obviously they're out there, pretty much said that 2019 will be a slower year for housing. Nobody's actually coming out and saying where it's going to go. Just expect slower sales, expect more inventory, etc. Now, over the past couple of months, we have seen significant marketplace, various locations. I expect it to continue as the months go on, and obviously as more inventory comes on, that reduces prices, that increases competition. It shifts from a seller's market to a buyer's market. But again, buyers are still on the sidelines. Buyers still want to see what's going on. So all the stuff that's come on the past month or 2 and will be coming on starting now, I guess we're not going to see the results of that for probably 2, 3, 4 months down the road. So again, the transition marketplace right now, I think everybody can agree housing will be slower. It's just to what extent this year will bring. So that's the scoop. But again, going back to the whole thing, most people are concerned about negative repercussions from consumer sentiment being negative. And the thought process is the more negative information that we hear, we pull back, we rein it in, and we don't spend money. Whether it's housing or cars or whatever else it is that we buy as consumers, that's the big concern. We pull back, we hunker down, we tighten up, and everything else suffers along the way. That's just the way it goes. But again, negative data, you have to take a look at it. People are going to look at negative data, you'll again, anybody might say, maybe I should wait as much as I know. But wait for significant change where I feel comfortable with triggering what I want to do. So that's just being smart with the money as far as I'm concerned. So what we heard recently is the biggest news that's come out so far this year is the home sales and new home sales or lack thereof. So obviously we don't have all the statistics in the government. So there's a consulting group that's called the John Burns Real Estate Consulting. And if you just look at him, he does put out information, he does relocations across the country. He comments primarily on the real estate market with respect to mobility. He pretty good. So basically, he did put out information this week, and unfortunately, the end of the year of 2018 is not very good for new housing. So the month of
So here
December,
we have
new home sales were down
the full
8%
video of the
year
video.
over year
It's
comparison
live
to December,
with
which is
this
not very good. This followed the
program
month of
or
November, which
platform.
had
It's called
flat
Bkool,
2% year over year
and we have,
so this is
or they
not very
offer
good for home
routes
builders and home developers.
that you can
But
ride in
this
your
is really
home,
expected in the
from your
market
home,
to decline
but routes
to
all
about
over the world, maybe over half a million routes. And if there's hills, the grades will be simulated at home. So your pedaling will change as in real life if you're actually there. And here is where they provide you with more information. If you expand it again, give you can see the dots of how many racers are racing right now, and you can see how many calories you're burning, yeah, your how fast you're going, your mph, and your cadence, and how many watts you're pushing here. And then all the way to the right, you can see the gradients. So right now we're at 1.3 on a slight incline, and we're gonna go to a flat to a decline, almost leveled, but still a decline. Once you're 15 minutes into this, you're gonna be sweating.
Move-up buyers, cancellation rate was 14%, and luxury buyers were 11%. So when you look at these, you have home sales down double digits, almost 20%, and then you look at the cancellation, it was 18 points of 11. Pretty material for neither the two reviews that we talked about, 18 and 11. So double digits for all the segments as well. So one of the things that I think is interesting is because, again, I'm making an assumption here, is that if I have a home that I'm going to purchase a new home, and whether I'm the spec home that I'm buying or the construction, I probably put some form of down payment slash escrow, with the new home builder to secure my position and to commit that I'm going to actually come through with the process and actually buy the home. Well, take a look at all these cancellations. I would assume that there's going to be some sort of financial penalty if you're a buyer and you're walking away from the deal, whether that's your deposit, your escrow, whatever you call it. My assumption is most people will do that, which kind of skews the marketplace. So if you're going to walk away from the put down, how the home settlement obviously has to be forced because again, you're saying I'd rather lose my extra $1,000 than actually have to purchase a home that's signed with the house. So it's going to be interesting to see what people and how people feel when you're home building. Now, in cloud 2019, Lennar Homes, which is one of the biggest home builders out there, deferred their guidance on the 2019, I guess you could say, projections, stating that they cannot give an accurate forecast because the housing market and the home segment is so uncertain. So, you got to think about what's going on here. Again, you have 500 declines, revised projections, for fourth quarter. Now, some of the builders did post some really good numbers for the fourth quarter as far as year-end sales. Obviously, most likely due to some reductions and price points and incentives, etc. Maybe more roofing for first buyers, with the incentives as well too. But again, when you have a home builder going, I can't really give you any indication of what's happening because we don't know. That really shows the market is in flux. And again, we don't know whether this is just, I guess, in retrospect, maybe the government shut down and not having the numbers ready is a blessing in disguise for these home builders because maybe that, sort of delays their numbers, which may delay stock price reductions or issues down the road. So again, very interesting to see this going on here. I don't know whether I mentioned this last time in our last video, but one of the things that did happen over the last month was construction layoffs. So over the past, I think the end of the fourth quarter of 2018 saw one of the highest layoffs in construction jobs of all time. And I think it only rivaled the layoffs that was in 2006, just before the housing crisis hit. we're a company that we want to carry just before, like, yeah, we carry high quality brands that we can work with hand in hand for years. We just saw it again happen. At the
hopefully decades
in
if we
that,
So obviously, I'm looking to open up also
or
kind of
for housing in
I'm sure you have a few questions, and I have a few questions myself.
and the forecast, they pull back to say we're not going to build as many homes out there, which, that could be a good thing for value, but also maybe a bad thing for other parts of the economy. Because again, home building tends to do a lot of things in the economy, right? Employs people. You buy a house, what do? You buy furniture, you buy decorations, you lawn, landscaping, lawn work, you buy lawnmowers, potted plants, whatever that may be. You go to hardware stores, you go to the nursery stores for plants or whatever. So a lot of this stimulates the economy. And again, the ancillary title company mortgage a little bit. So home building does influence a lot of our overall economy, which is very kind of critical to what's going on here. So again, also to note with the homeowner segment here, D.R. Horton stated they would start looking at developing more solutions for the affordable housing market, which is very good. That is the market that needs homes the most, but is not being served the most by the new home builders. And reason being, when you have increased land costs, entitlement costs, lack of skilled labor, higher material costs, higher interest rates, it's tough to basically, put a home up and actually make money. Again, they're not looking and building one house, they're building segments, number of acres, developments, etc. So I think that's kind of interesting. How that's going to play out, though, I still think is a bit of a mystery. Here's the scoop. So if you're a home builder and you bought a development, you're doing a development, you may be working, 200 houses, 1,000 houses, 500, whatever that number is. So you've already got your development kind of plan there. So if you're now changing that development and say, okay, we have our projections for certain homes here, but we think we're going to change the structure and style to different, more affordable homes, that's great for you as a developer or the homeowner because you're going to change it up and try the best you can to bring more buyers in and make your money. But that also affects the people who already bought into your home development who may have purchased higher value homes, and it's kind of unclear now after how that mix is going to work. I personally would be a little bit upset if I spent $450,000 for a house and my next door neighbor, new house, is worth $250,000. Okay? That's not going to bode well for my resale opportunities. That's not going to go well. But again, at the point where these guys are now, with the home builders, they got to do what they got to do to make ends meet, to increase the housing supply, to make it more affordable for the average buyer. And again, housing prices far outpace wage increases the past few years here. This is where we're at. So again, that's the issue that I would be facing if I was buying a new home. So certainly look out for that. Again, it looks like 2019 is shaping up to be a very interesting year. A lot of speculation for what's going on. Again, we're still at that transition point where we know inventory is coming on. We know there's going to be price protection. We can take a look at inventory skyrocketing in the past couple of months. Now we need to wait to see how all this inventory ends up playing through with respect to sales or delay of sales or longer days of market or lack of sales. So we'll see how this will sort of come through the next few months. Here's one thing for you too. I'm going to be doing some new things as we go forward. Some local events on real estate trading, particularly the distressed property market, and actually dealing with how to buy and sell and do real estate investing in a dynamic, down and changing market. That's what we're going to be facing the next little while here. So my first event is on February 2nd. It's a Saturday. If you are in the Tampa Bay area, I'll have a link where you can maybe register and attend the event. It's going to be an intensive day of training on all sorts of interesting things. We're talking, zombie foreclosure solutions, tax deed sale.
Welcome to this week's episode of I Don't Even Know Where to Start. The country's
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Mad Scientist. I just released a new version of the financial independence spreadsheet I created. So I figured I'd put together a short video to run through everything and show you how to use it. If you've not downloaded a copy of the spreadsheet yet, you can just head over to madfindtest.com/spreadsheet, and you can download it there. And you can also see that there's a bunch of instructions on how to use it and some tips for making it easier to use. So definitely check those out. But if you have the spreadsheets, then you can just open it up in any spreadsheet software. I'm using Numbers on a Mac right now, but you can use Excel. And if you don't have software that will work, you can just upload the spreadsheet to Google Drive and use Google Sheets for free. So the first page of the spreadsheet is simply the instructions so that you have that link handy. The next sheet you want to look at is the net worth sheet, and that's the one where you're going to be putting all your data in. So you can see January is already filled out with some dummy data. You can overwrite that, or if this is your sheet and you're now wanting to put your February data in, you can just click and copy everything and then paste it all into February. So on the spreadsheet, the only numbers that you're going to want to update are the ones with a green background. All the other numbers are automatically calculated from formulas, so you don't want to touch those. So now it's just as simple as going through and updating all your details for the current month. So you can just update all these numbers, and hopefully your checking accounts are increasing and your credit cards are decreasing. And you can see that it's automatically updating the totals. So great, that's it. Your new numbers are added. So now we can simply just go to the investment screen, and you can see that there's really not much to update on this one. So we can, again, just copy all of the data from January and then paste it into February, and that's going to correctly grab the correct columns in the net worth table. Also, before we move on, you can see that it sort of calculates the liquid assets versus the illiquid assets. So for early retirement, this could be important. If you're going to need some money right up front, you're going to want to see that it's not all tied up in your house or your 401k, for example. So if we go back to the investments table, you can see that it adds all of this up and it gives you some totals. It also gives you a breakdown of what type of accounts your money is currently sitting in. And if just want to say you spend $4,000 a year on necessary things and you have a $100,000 portfolio, that means that your portfolio can cover your essentials, which means you could survive just on your portfolio. Discretionary coverage is the amount of discretionary spending that is covered by your supplemental income, and this be how long you're going to have to work to cover an expense. So let's just assume that this one was your cable TV, and you're like, well, I have to work another 3/4 of a year just to pay my cable TV. Maybe I will, get rid of my really expensive cable package and just get an $8 Netflix account or something. So it's useful for that, and also
फ्रेंड्स, मैं हूं अमित और स्वागत है आप सबका मेरे और आपके चैनल में जिसका नाम है एके एडवाइस। दोस्तों आज इस वीडियो में हम देखेंगे हाउ टू यूज क्रिएटिव कॉमन्स वीडियो विदाउट
So, take you as I said to CNN, would be happy to cooperate. CNN called back and said, no, we don't want you to. And the rumor was that Dan Plante's reporting was that a border wall worked. And then CNN didn't want that. But I don't know the truth, so that's why Dan Plante is joining us now from San Diego. Let's do the first things first. You are a border expert. You are there and covered and have covered it for years, right?
Many years. Many years. 20 years going on now. 19 years, my friend. That's right.
So, you know that in the San Ysidro sector, which is San Diego, they've had a wall for a long time. Does the wall work?
We have. Since 1997.
Does the wall
So
work?
does it work? The question is, does the wall work? Well, that is a question, by the way, that CNN was asking, and that was sort of the premise of their whole daily rundown, I guess. That was the day that Trump went to Texas, and kind of a little surprise visit there at the border, talking about obviously promoting his wall and how the walls work. Well, CNN, of course, woke up in the morning and they had a different take on this. They wanted to talk about how the walls don't work and how this is all just a big waste of money. And the fact of the matter is, Bill, and I spoke with someone over at Fox News last week about this, and they cut this part out, and I want to share this with you. And that is the true facts of what the border wall does, and the border wall actually works. Here is a quick little anecdote for you. You talk about San Ysidro. There's a little town right on the other side of the border, on the San Ysidro border. It's called Imperial Beach. It's a great little beach town that gets dumped on by the Mexican sewage all the time, but that's a different story. A big story that you should probably look into sometime, because we've been dumped on for 40 years over there in Tijuana. That's another crisis at the border. But in this particular case, there's the area just on the other side of the fence. When they put the fence up in 1997, that used to be the highest crime area in San Diego County, the car theft capital of the country at that time, because so many illegal immigrants were coming over and doing their thing, stealing cars and going to wherever they needed to go. So fast forward about 15 years, they put up this barrier. First of all, it started with the Duncan Hunter Wall, that corrugated steel that was left over from the Vietnam War. They put that wall up there at a very, very little expense, but that was the first barrier ever to separate Mexico from San Diego. And it was just this corrugated steel left over, but it was good enough as a symbol, and it was good enough to put a speed bump in their way. Well, a few years later, they realized that people were cutting through this and getting through anytime they wanted to, so they put up one of those fences that basically is bollards, right? So you can see through it, which the Border Patrol loves. They want to be able to see through it, so these guys on the other side, when they're starting to attack them, they want to be able to dodge the rocks. Well, guess what happened to that area that used to be the highest crime area in San Diego? It now has 1,000 cute little homes where people are living safely and happily, and there's a beautiful shopping mall there too, Bill. It is called Las Americas Shopping Mall, and it has dozens of stores, high-end stores, all kinds of stuff. Now, this stuff would not have been there, Bill, had that barrier not gone up back in 1997. That still would be the highest crime area in San Diego County. So if you want to talk about whether walls work or walls don't work, the fact of the matter is, if you put a wall up around your house, people are probably not going to get in. If you don't have a wall around your house, they can come knock on your door, sneak through your window. So that is a great anecdote, and that was an anecdote, one of my favorites, because it really just shows, an area that was the highest crime area in the country basically for a while. Now it has 1,000 cute little homes with 1,000 cute little families and a beautiful shopping mall where people go to all the time, not only from Mexico, but from America.
All right,
it is a great it's an outlet mall. So that's what's going on. So that's one example.
In the San Ysidro sector, the illegal immigration, and I don't know about drug smuggling, whether there's any stats there, was inhibited, I think that's a fair word, inhibited by the wall that was erected and remains today. Is that an accurate, fair statement?
It absolutely changed the numbers. My buddy Chris Harris over at the Border Patrol says that back before that particular wall, that fence was put up, they were catching between 1,000 and 1,500 people a night. And those were just the people they were catching. There was another 1,000 or so that would get through after they put up that barrier bill. It went down to 100 a night. At one point in time, 30 or 40 a night. So you go from 1,000 to 100 to 30 or 40. So at least in that, I mean, that doesn't mean that they can't go the 16 miles down to the end of the fence and start working it down there.
Well, we've been racing for about 38 minutes now. And damn, I'm feeling it. Been dropped many times, and there's a few people who have dropped out, as you can see. But we're almost at the end of the road. Well, a little bit more than halfway to go.
Who is sitting just a few feet away from me. By the way, he closed the door because I'm too loud. But amazingly, yeah. So I mean, what was the question again?
Did CNN political reasons kill your appearance on that network?
Okay. Well, according to the conversation, you have to draw the.
Bkool, they're one of the suppliers that he used to start the Amazon wholesale. Takes about 7 days for them. What's up, YouTube? I want to show you a way to find wholesale suppliers for your Amazon FBA business. So what you do is just go into Google and type in ASG market week 7.
What is up, everybody? It's Shane, the Resurrect Picker, and I'm on the phone with the Bearded Picker right now, and I'm on the hunt yet again. I don't even know when I'm going to be home, but I'm going to take you guys along with me, and I'm going to show you what I'm picking up, and we're going to make a killing. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of money, so stay tuned.
You know,
Alright, we just picked all these up. This is $60 in profit each. We're gonna make a killing this weekend.
Oh man, they're right here sitting on pink cap 1247.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Here's 2. 3. 4. This box is open. This one's open, so I'm gonna pick 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's number 7. That one's damaged. Here's number 8. So 9, 10. So we need 5 more. 5 more.
So we're back at already having again. We're at the Starbucks drive-through. I'm tired. I got 3 hours of sleep. I unloaded my car, and we're back at it. Turn and burning. The RA beast. Let's go.
We're still hunting this item, man. I went to a Walmart and they had 13 of them and they disappeared. I think someone else is trying to out-RA me. I'm on the move as fast as possible to hit as many stores as I can. Peace. Let's go get this. Hey, stay tuned. I'm gonna show some crazy footage, but yeah, this is crazy. This is what you get with RA. People are trying to basically beat you and stuff like that.
Alright, so we're at another store, and we're going to go pick up some of these that they have. Hopefully they do. We are hurrying in the store because I'm early, and they're going to be gone. Let's go. This is Gary Vee style right here. This is what Gary Vee would purchase. He would purchase all these, just like this. Let's roll. Let's see if we can find any in the clearance aisle. I don't even see a clearance aisle in this store, but let's see if we can find some. Don't see it anywhere. Yeah, look at this, man. Killer profits. Hey, what's up, everybody? So I just got recognized in Walmart by one of these TSMs. I bought all of these for $12 a piece. I'm gonna flip them on Amazon FBA for about 99 to 89 a piece. And here is, I want to show you my receipt. $12 a piece right here. And so I got recognized by the lady. She receipt checked me, and she's like, "Are you the guy that travels all over to buy RA and Ryzen something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And she said, "Ryzen something?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." So she like gave me a fist bump, and she's like, "Good luck, you're awesome. We love your videos. Me and my daughter follow you." That is definitely the best thing you can do is walk into a Walmart and get a greeting like that. Totally awesome. So the car pusher, I was just loading this stuff up, and the car pusher's like, "Can I help you with anything?" He's like, "You're a YouTuber, right?" And he gave me a 5. This is the best Walmart ever. Dixon, Illinois. This Walmart is awesome. And Walmart, you should give some of these people here in Dixon some good raises because, man, this is awesome. Great customer service. You know, even though she followed me and checked my receipt, she made sure I was legit. And then she recognized me and gave me huge props. Like, you cannot buy employees like that. These employees here are freaking awesome. Alright, I'm probably going to be at my last stop from today on this item. Not really any more Walmarts that really have a lot of them, so we're going to go in and see if we can find it. So let's go. Yeah. Yeah, get your hotel. Yeah, because there was a lot of hotels in Rockford as well. They were pretty big ones, so shouldn't have any issues. Should not have any issues. Excuse me.
Here's the wheel. Something I'm not.
Look who's with me, guys. It's Spirit Maker.
He's gonna push the coffee makers right now. For $5. Dude, this one's all messed up right here. That one's all messed up. Which those look good. See, those are $14.40 a piece in profit. Let's see if the beard picker stops for a receipt check. I don't know if it will. Let's see. Oh, there's not even anyone in here for a receipt check. Yay! Free of them less. I did not see that. I'm parked directly down that way. I say now we go to GameStop. Oh yeah. Okay, I just kinda wanted to throw this out here real quick. I'm driving home. Just got done doing some retail arbitrage. Spent all day out and all that last night. Waking up at 6 in the morning this morning. Went back out 2 hours after. I picked up these iHome mirrors. They're near iHome vanity mirrors, and they're ranked 7,000. They're selling for $98 to $99. The lowest at one point was $89. Here today, I'm gonna make anywhere from $50 to $60 a piece on them, and I'm picking up for $12. I picked up 53 of them, so that's gonna be about $3,300 in profit. That's just profit. So, anyways, thanks. This was a pretty killer ride. I met up with Scott Picker, and overall, like, it was just an awesome day picture. Like, it was badass. Alright, so I struck out in my last Walmart, and I'm going to be heading home here pretty soon, but what I can tell you is, if you don't do that here on the road in URA, you're not going to find it. You gotta get on the road and you gotta go find it. I got 53 of these mirrors. They sell for $89 to $99 a piece. I'll make it work from $50 to $60 on them. And I paid $12 and 40 some cents. So that's what you gotta look at is you gotta look at your profit, you gotta know your margins. But I can tell you right now, if you don't get on the road, you're not gonna find anything. So don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Share this with your friends, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Make that money.
Calculate your cost of goods sold pretty easily for any given month and for the entire year.
And please take my advice on this one from first-hand experience, guys. Do not wait until 6 months down the road to think, wow, I should probably go back and start doing that for 6 months worth of sales. It takes days. Like, I'm not talking like 5 or 6 hour days, I'm talking like 12-hour days. I'm going back and going through every single sale that you made and backtracking all those cost of goods. I've made it a personal habit to every single week this year. I'm sitting down every Sunday night or Monday morning, and I go through my whole week of sales, and I go through and do that. And then, of course, that's if you're doing it manually. And then I'm sure you can touch base on QuickBooks, GoDaddy bookkeeping. These are softwares that can automatically pull your eBay data for you. And sync with your bank account, so you can mess around with the different stuff there. Do you have a preference between the two, or do you find there's differences? Or are they pretty much the same?
It depends. So like with a lot of people like GoDaddy bookkeeping because it's so simple, it integrates pretty nicely with eBay. So for that reason I like it. The reason I I may not recommend it always is because it doesn't have capability to like manage your assets and liabilities, like your inventory, your bank account, your balance sheet, would be the accounting term. And that's the same with QuickBooks Self-Employed. Those two programs are similar in that way. But then when we're talking about QuickBooks Online, they have a few different packages within QuickBooks Online. Those are a bit more robust. They can do a lot more reporting. But at the same time, it can overwhelm a lot of people. But again, it just depends on the comfort level of the person and how far they're wanting to take their business.
So let's say somebody in the chat right now is newer to this, but they want to start treating it more like an actual business, not a hobby. They go on to QuickBooks.com, for example. What's the basic one you would recommend? Because they have different, they have self-employed, online, they have these different ones. Is there one that you would recommend somebody start with that's both going to be affordable and it's going to be able to do all of the tracking that it needs to be accurate?
Yeah, I mean, if you want really simple, you can do QuickBooks Self-Employed, but that's really designed for people who are still, combining their business with their personal. It's really designed to help you prepare your tax return. So I like QuickBooks Online, the Simple Start package, because that has a lot more capabilities. It's all about tracking your profitability and being able to look at your business that way. So that's probably the one I would recommend for someone who wants to be serious.
Okay, awesome. And I'm trying to cover as much of like the basics for you guys too, because these are questions I had when I remember when I first started, because we were using our personal checking account, which was just one account between my wife and I, so we were mixing the personal funds and the business. But we did all the wrong things, right? That's why we do things better now, because we did the wrong things for a while. So we were mixing and matching those. I was doing everything on just a physical Excel sheet, and then I found out about QuickBooks and GoDaddy bookkeeping, so I played around with both of those. And these were all questions I had in the beginning. It's like, which one do you do? What's the difference? So we're trying to clear as much of that up for you guys. So any questions you have on should we do this or that, drop them in the chat, and we'll keep chugging along this little session for you. Somebody asked, can you provide an example of how cost of goods works?
Yeah, that's another sort of gray area these days, but up until the recent tax laws, for retailers, it was pretty conclusive, I don't know if that's the word, that when you buy inventory, you record that inventory as an asset. Like it sits on your business book as an asset, and you don't deduct it. You don't deduct that. But then when you sell it, that's when you can take the deduction upon the sale. And that's when you recognize your cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold is just a specific name for a certain type of deduction. So that's how it's always been.
I'm going to say a tree.
Tree.
You have a hard time coming home?
It's been a rough 3 days.
I had to come through for you.
I was starting to hate to come down. All right, let's go to question 2. Give me Candy. Give me Troy.
What's that?
Top 7 answers on the board, ladies. Here we
No, that's
go.
my laptop. I'm doing something.
We're recording
An
it.
egg is prepared
I'm
that also
recording something. I don't
describes
want
your
it to hear.
boss.
Right.
Fried.
Shoot.
Scrambled. Not in every way the egg is prepared that also describes your boss.
I'm going to go with sunny side up, Steve.
Sunny side.
Over hard.
Jack, did you know where the egg is prepared that also describes your boss?
Poached.
Poached. David, give me a way an egg prepared that also describes your boss.
It's a hard boiled.
You know something? You might be on the roll. Jared, give me a way an egg is prepared that also describes your boss.
Over easy.
Over easy. One answer left. If it's there, you clear the board, Troya. Name a way an egg is prepared that also describes your boss.
Devil.
How'd you do? How'd you do?
Devil.
Oh no, you made me look at the part. Oh my god.
What?
What answer left
Was it
there?
scratch?
Name a way an egg
I don't know.
is prepared that also
Feels all
describes
bumpy.
your boss.
I
Poorly.
like these. Oh.
You wasn't really thinking that was up there, was you, man? You really just wanted to say something to your boss.
Appreciate the
Poorly.
That's yours.
Jackie, one answer left.
running. I love running.
You got two strikes. Shape the family can steal. Name a way an egg is prepared that also describes your boss.
Over medium.
Over
Over hard.
Name a way an egg is prepared that also describes your boss.
Crack. Example.
Number 7.
Running.
Cassini family, 183. Shape the family not on the board. But the goal is 300 points. You got a long way to go. Keep playing. We'll be right back, folks.
Play the feud at home with all new Family Feud Black Edition now in stores. Name a reason you'd recommend Consumer Cellular to a friend. Show me number 4. Number 3. Number 2. And the number 1 answer is... This question sponsored by Consumer
So I text Dora today.
Ordering chit
And
chat.
afterwards I found out that person was like, while I was reading on the bag, I could have resold it.
Sharing the latest viral
You know what that's
Instant replay.
text night
Like,
and day.
I was reading that people were able to
With a
resell
wireless
it.
plan
Where's
designed
that?
for you.
Retail.
Talk, text, and data for only $25 a month. Nationwide coverage, no contracts.
So you have to pay $8,000. How much do you sell it for?
Call, go
Well,
online.
apparently everyone,
Hi, I'm
they
Bob
can
Harper,
resell
and I
it
recently had a heart
for
attack.
like maybe
It changed my
9,000.
life, but I'm a survivor.
10,000.
After my heart attack, my doctor prescribed Prolenta. It's for people who have been hospitalized for a heart attack. Prolenta is taken with a low dose aspirin, no more than 100 milligrams.
But yeah, that's what they write, but you never know, right? That's the thing. Until you really sell it, then.
The clinical study, Prolenta works better than Plavix. Prolenta reduced the chance of having another heart attack or dying tomorrow.
Don't stop taking Prolenta without talking to your doctor, since stopping it too soon increases your risk of clots and stent, heart attacks, stroke, and death. Prolenta may cause bruising or bleeding more easily, or serious, sometimes fatal bleeding. Don't take Prolenta if you have bleeding, like stomach ulcers, extreme bleeding to the brain, or severe liver problems. Slow heart rhythm has been reported. Tell your doctor about bleeding.
You look like you're
Shortness
puking
of
on
breath,
me.
implant surgery, and all medicines you take.
If you recently had a heart attack, ask your doctor if Prolenta is right for you. My heart is worth Prolenta. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
What if these tax prep services let more people file for free? Is it TurboTax or H&R Block Online? We may never know. More people can file free with H&R Block
You
Online.
know that today,
Block has your back.
I had some on the blueberry, and some of them actually tasted a little moldy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They look very good.
Well, you should use the other pan, huh?
7 ounces on the board. This
stands for fill in the blank. Here we go. Night blank. Vision. Oh, night vision. Nightmares. Nightmares.
Nighttime.
Well, here we go. All right, fill in the blank. Night blank.
Nighttime.
Nighttime.
Nightlight.
All right, let's go. Fill in the blank. Night blank.
Night light.
Night light. Nancy, night blank.
Night owl.
Night Kathy, night blank.
Night gown.
Bill over the one strike, buddy. Night blank. Steve, how about nighty? Nighty. All right, folks, you gotta slow it down now. We got 2 strikes. You gotta be careful. The City family can steal.
Nightlife.
Rubber.
I know, I need to buy a new one.
2 strikes, man. You gotta be careful. The family can steal. Night blank.
You're saying yours is wrong.
Night lock.
You keep doing that.
Just a little pepper. A little salt. Yeah,
All right, let's fill in the blank. Night blank.
We're gonna go with nightstand.
Oh.
Number 7.